How long does a driving while intoxicated charge remain on your record? Driving while intoxicated charges are unlike many other types of criminal charges because past convictions can be used to enhance future allegations. In other words, your second DWI, although still a misdemeanor, is a higher level offense than your first DWI under most circumstances. And your third DWI becomes a felony offense. So the question comes up, how far back can prosecutors reach to get your priors and use them against you? Well, the answer, at least on the surface level, is there's no limitation in how far back the prosecutors can reach. They can go back 10 years, 20 years, 50 years to pull a prior DWI and use it against you for enhancement purposes. So just because you've had a DWI 20 years ago, your next one was 5 years ago, and you just picked up a third, that third one, if the first two were convictions, will still be a felony charge. It doesn't matter that so much time has passed. Now, there's one important exception to this, and one that most people don't know, including attorneys who practice in this area. And that is if you have a case that resulted in probation before January 1st of 1984, that is not considered a prior that can be used against you for enhancement purposes. So it has to be before 1984 and it has to be a probated offense. So in other words, if you went to jail prior to 1984, that can still be used against you. But if you received probation on a DWI charge, that offense cannot be used against you for enhancement purposes. I see prosecutors miss that all the time, and other attorneys who haven't come across this issue are not going to know about it. So that's one thing you need to know about. Also know that just because you have a prior offense does not necessarily mean that the prosecutor is going to be able to prove that that is your offense, particularly if they can't get a hold of the judgment and sentences. Typically they can, but even if they do, they need to be able to prove that you, and not just someone else by your name, committed that offense. What do I mean by that? So a judgment will typically have the name, the offense, all the particulars that you would expect, and that alone is generally not going to be enough to prove that it was you. Instead, we need to look for identifiers that are unique to you, such as a driver's license number, a state ID number, or if there are things like fingerprints. Sometimes you even see 10 print cards which have all 10 fingerprints accompanied by photographs. So that would be strong evidence that you are one and the same person who pled to the charge. If they don't have specific identifiers that are truly unique to you, the state can offer circumstantial evidence. So if they have other descriptors, so they can link a judgment and sentence to an offense report, and the offense report itself included a driver's license number. Or if they can link a judgment and sentence to other biographical information that makes it a credible argument that you're the one and same person that was charged, whether that's your physical description accompanied by some other information that may not be as unique as a driver's license number, but is still enough for them to arguably prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it is you that committed that offense. That's what they're looking for, and they have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Sometimes you run into issues where they have fingerprints, but those fingerprints are not the best in the world. A prosecutor cannot prove that it's you. So when you are charged with a DWI misdemeanor repetition, or certainly a felony repetition offense, it's important that your attorney takes a look at the original judgments and sentences that the prosecutor has. Not copies, not scanned copies, but the originals, to see if it is actually something that the state can prove against you, because that's going to make a huge difference in any potential plea that you're looking at, or certainly what the state could prove at a trial. This video was made in response to questions that we've received on this channel in the past. If you have a criminal question that you'd like for us to answer, just drop a comment below and we'll be happy to answer that in a future video.